Hey guys, it's Ayub again with the DualShock 4. This time, I've had enough time to play around with it and see what's up and what does it work with. I've tried with the PlayStation 3. Only worked for a few games. Notably for me was Pac-Man Championship Edition, the one that came free with PlayStation Plus. That worked fine. However, I feel like multiplayer games or games that require you to have your controller in wireless mode, such as FIFA or NBA, did not work. So I moved on to my next best thing, my MacBook. Macs can't play the strongest game. Well, my MacBook Pro personally can't. It's a mid 2010. Still has the Core 2 Duo and a 4 GB RAM. Not that impressive. Either way, I wanted to try it out, and so I recommend that you guys get JoyStick Mapper, just on joystickmapper.com. Sorry for the quality of the video, too lazy to install a screen recorder and whatnot. So this app has been used previously by a bunch of people, I'm pretty sure, because it's just a useful mapper for any joystick. Doesn't only need to be the DualShock 4, it could be the DualShock 3 or the Xbox controller or whatever. So once you download this app, it's $4.99 on the Mac App Store. As you can see, $4.99. I feel it's worth it if you're planning on using it as much as I am. So when you get it, you get this screen, JoyStick Mapper. It's the usual. This is not on it when you get it though, but what you do pretty much is just you add a new preset. It'll detect your controller. If your controller is not plugged in, plug it in again, and then you can refresh joysticks here on the quick options, and then it'll recognize it for sure. Then you add a new preset. New preset will give you a new window. I'm using dual screen setup, so it's kind of moving around, but I'll try and make it simple. New preset, name it whatever you want. Most of the time I do that for separate games, so that the controls are different, but you choose what you want to do. So let us make one. Right. Alright, the Portal. I can't think of anything, that's ridiculous. Portal tag if you want. I put a DS4 tag on it because that's a controller I'm using. So then you add the new joystick, which is your DualShock 4. This preset applies to games or whatever, and you can have multiple ones just in case some games are annoying about setting up. I found that Hotline Miami doesn't have one of those traditional mappings, like it shows you the letter and what it does. It's more, here are the actions and here are the controls you need to use, and so I had to map accordingly for it to work properly. It wasn't a big deal. So you're here, you have your joystick, you write its name if you want, DualShock 4 again. Then you can add new binds, which is pretty cool. So I got my controller here. I'll just show the example. You can scan, or if you know your buttons, do it, but it's a new controller, so I doubt it. You scan, then you're given 5 seconds to input. So if I pressed X, for example, it'd be button 1, and then you assign that button to whatever you want. Same goes for axes. So I pressed scan there, I don't know if you saw, and then just press up, and it will automatically recognize it and put axis number 1, direction towards the minus because it's inverted, right? So it goes, because I pulled it up, it does the minus, and then of course you can do all the other axes, whatever. I don't need it though, I'll just delete it. For example, my Hotline Miami one looks something like that. It took me a while, but I felt like it was the most efficient look for it. Like the R here, I put it because there's a reload button, and I just assigned it to the share button so I can reload fast. I'll show you guys an example. Okay, so once you have all of this set up, you can also, really cool feature about this app, it's a really great app. $4.99 for it is not a big deal. You can add different joysticks, so then I could bring in my Xbox controllers or PS3 controllers in order to have a two-player game. I'm figuring that so far it's not that useful for proper Mac games, but if you're planning on using emulators, that could be really great for N64 games or something to play with two players. Either way. So when you want to use a preset, you activate it to use this preset. And now I will launch the game. Oh, by the way, for the cable, you can't use the traditional cable that came in with the PlayStation 3. You have to use a thinner one. So yeah, the matter was just finding the right cable. I had a friend with an Android device. They lent me the cable, and yeah. Okay, so now we're in the game. To try and get a good view of it is weird, but you can see I move up. It's the thing. So I'm gonna start the game. I'm gonna continue because I played a short amount of it on Mac. Wait, I need to press. I don't have an enter key set up for the game, so I still have to use my keyboard for continue and stuff, but that's just at the beginning, and then it becomes fine. Okay, so I choose my mask. Let's choose Richards. So, as you can see, my left analog stick makes me walk around. I have the right analog stick is for the camera, and it works perfectly. I only had to set up up, down, left, right for both sticks, and everything else in betweens was done automatically. The triggers work for the punch. I can hold it to stop, whatever. It works great. Personally, I'm going to wait a little bit until someone smarter than me makes a proper guide, because I still have a few bugs that could probably be solved fairly easily, like the automatic action that occurs all the time. It's not really a deal breaker, but if I use my mouse, it works fine. Either way, so that was just an example of a game. One thing that you have to watch out though, if you have the new OS X Mavericks 10.9, is that in order for JoyStick Mapper to work, you have to go to the application, inside the applications folder, right click or two-finger click or whatever, get info, and very important, click on prevent app nap. If you don't, the settings will work for a few moments, and then the application will go in nap mode in order to save energy, or whatever it does, I don't really know. And then the controller is just not going to work anymore. So put app nap, like cross that check I showed you, and then you should be fine. And then you can start using your DualShock 4 for PC games. I'm using a Mac, so I'm pretty limited, but for all PC owners out there, have fun. It was a Ulysses, and I'm probably gonna make another video showing the PlayStation 3, how to use it, but don't hold me to it.